Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome to lecture 14 of SBL. Today's topic is internal resources, capabilities and competences. Okay, this is the continuation of your chapter 3 in your Kaplan textbook. Okay, where we have went through the external analysis, internal analysis. So this is an internal analysis of an organization. In this lecture, we are going to focus on resources and competences. Threshold, resources and threshold. What is the meaning of threshold? Okay, the meaning of threshold resources or threshold competences means minimum. Okay, that is like the minimum standard that one needs to get along to operate in an organization. Then we have unique resource and core competences. Okay, these are the ones which gives you the competitive advantage. Okay, that is beyond your threshold, beyond the limit, beyond the minimum. Then we are going through critical success factor, very important for an organization because these are the factors that helps an organization to succeed. Knowledge management, how do you manage your knowledge, very important again. And SWOT analysis, which is again an internal analysis of an organization. But before proceeding, let's see this diagram. You have seen this in your previous two lectures also, when we went through external analysis and internal analysis. So let me just give you a review of what we have went through till now. So we started with external analysis, and on the left hand side you can see we have covered the three models, which are pestle, Porter's five forces and Porter's diamond. Then we went through internal analysis. In the internal analysis we have already covered the value chain in the previous lecture. Okay, so this lecture we are going to work on the capabilities and the SWOT. Okay, before we go to strategic choice, the next lecture, that is the last lecture under strategy, will be the strategic choice. Okay, which is a very big lecture with numbers of models. Okay, so this until this lecture, this is the fourth lecture under strategy, we'll be covering your strategic position. Okay, after this we'll be moving on to strategic choice, because in the beginning of the lecture, in your strategy lecture, okay, we started with three things regarding strategy: strategic position, strategic analysis, strategic choice and strategic implementation. So strategic position we are going to cover with this lecture. Next lecture will be on strategic choice. So let's start. Strategic capability. Okay, what is the meaning of capability? Capability means when you have the adequate and the suitable resources and the competences that any organization needs to survive and prosper. Okay, any organization. Okay, take any organization. You need resources and you need competences to compete. Otherwise, you cannot. Okay, then, or there is another way to look: CSF. CSF is critical success factor. Okay, that means a business can obtain unique resource and core competences, and this should lead to success. Okay, if a business can obtain, that means your resource has to be unique and your competences has to be core. Okay, let us go in depth what it means. Now, resources and competences are divided into two. Okay, resources could be threshold or unique, competences could be threshold or core. First we'll go through the threshold. Okay, together resource and competences makes the capabilities. Okay, your capabilities decided based on the resources that you have and competences that you have. So starting with the capability. Okay, these are necessary for any organization to exist and compete in an industry. Threshold means what? Any industry. Okay, there are some minimum that you need to compete. Okay, without this you cannot compete in that industry. So resources, and also another feature of this threshold is they're easy to copy. Easily it can be copied. Okay, and the third is this will not lead to a competitive advantage nor a success. This is just for you to survive in that industry. You need this, that's it. To survive, sorry, to succeed and to have the competitive advantage, beyond this you need, beyond the threshold limit. Okay, so let us go to the resources. Example of threshold resources, like in a daily newspaper, what do you need? You need a new reporter, you need editors, you need printing stuff. These are common for any newspaper editor, any newspaper who are there in that industry, newspaper industry, they need all this. It's common, right? This can be copied. You need printing stuff, you need reporters, you need editors, and for threshold competences is every consumer electronics will have capabilities in electrical engineering. Okay, every consumer electronics. So this is threshold. There is nothing unique about it. This is something that can be copied. Now we are moving to the unique resources and core competences. Unique means they are particular to an individual business. From business to business, yes, you can be in the same industry. Let's say car manufacturer, you can be in the same industry, but some are there which is individual to your business only. Some things are there. Then it's hard to copy. Opposite of threshold. Threshold was easy to copy. Unique or core is hard to copy, and it could be valued by the this is something that is valued by the customer also. Your customer is willing to pay you more based on this, whether you have the resources that are unique, whether you have the competences that are core, and ultimately it will lead to competitive advantage. That's our main goal. Example, like again we'll take a newspaper, same example, but what is the unique resource here? Maybe you have an exclusive deal with the country's top sports star. Like they agreed that they are going to write a daily column on his or her sport. So if the country's top star writes it in your newspaper, it brings revenue, it brings a chance for you to stand against your rival for the newspaper company, right? That's a unique resource. Not every company will have a top sports star writing in their column for their newspaper. So this could be a unique resource. Whereas core competences could be, let's say again we'll take electronic company only, Sony. Okay, Sony believe that they have a core competencies in what? In two areas. One, their design. They believe their design cannot be copied by their rivals. The next is user friendliness. They are very user friendliness. Anyone can operate Sony. That user friendliness. If you have operated Sony, one, okay, you will know this things better about the design and the user friendliness. That I don't have to tell you here, right? Now, moving on to strategy capability, as we have told, this is just a summary of what I've explained you through the diagram. Strategic capabilities, resources plus competences. You need both. Both goes hand in hand. Just you cannot say we have the resources, that's enough, or just you cannot say we have the competences. You need both. You need the support of both to have a strategic capability. Okay. Now, what are resources? See, resources are something that are tangible, something that you can own, something you can touch, like your machinery, your labor, the staff that you have, or your finance. These are resources that an organization has. Whereas competences is something which is intangible. You cannot touch it. Okay, like the knowledge that one have, the know-how, the brand, the reputation. These are competences that an organization has. Okay, then resources and competences could be threshold, that is the minimum, or they could be unique and core. Okay, now before we do a question, test understanding 6, let us illustrate this. What is the meaning of capabilities, unique capability, resources, and core competences through an illustration? We'll take Coca-Cola for an example. Okay, have you wondered why Coca-Cola is dominating? I'm not going to read this, you can read it on your own. I'm just going to explain, simplify and explain you this thing, illustration, this real life example of Coca-Cola. Have you wondered why Coca-Cola is a brand, or why it is a dominant in a dominant position for over the years, whereas other soft drink markets are also there? Even they have maintained their strong position, but why Coca-Cola always beats their rival? There should be some reason behind it. Even though there are some own label colas which sell prices even at a lower price, lower than Coca-Cola, but then why Coca-Cola is so much uh, at the top? How did they manage to keep their dominant position? If I ask you this question, think. Yes, it is their resources, it is their competences, but what exactly, what resources and what competences? See, if you go by the resources, they say that there are no secret to their resources. They do not have any such physical resources that can help them to differentiate from their competitor, right? But they have some non-physical resources. Non-physical resources means competences. They have some competences that are unique, that are core, that their rivals does not have. Like what? Like a powerful brand. If you see that Coca-Cola, the logo, everyone knows it from five. They see, okay, this is a Coca-Cola logo. The red color and all that comes, right? It's red, and inside though it's written in white. So from far away, a person knows, okay, that's a Coca-Cola. The brand that it has, it's a very powerful brand. And their core competencies is what? It is in managing that brand. How? Because they have made such a when they were advertising, they have made it that it should be a memorable global advertising, that no one should ever forget that this is the advertisement of a Coca-Cola. And it's global, it's on a global level. Everyone in any country from anywhere in the world, whether it's in Africa, Asia, Europe, they know that this is a Coca-Cola without even reading it, just by the logo, just by the picture of it, just by the color. And it has recognized a global recognition, not in just their country but also worldwide. And the sponsorship has been done very carefully. They have responded to the customer requirements by giving light products. So this is how Coca-Cola has maintained its dominant position. This is just one of the reasons. There might be other reasons. Okay, obviously Coca-Cola will not reveal their all the secrets and all, but this is just one of the reason they are powerful brand. Their core competences lies in managing that brand. So now let us go through test your understanding 6, where we are going to see how strategy capability, what is the strategy capability in a football company. Okay, test your understanding 6. So in this we are talking about the Manchester United Football Club. As you all know, you must be very familiar with this name because this is one of the most biggest, most popular sporting institutions in the world, not just in Europe but in the world. Okay, so this, they have the biggest stadium. Okay, they have most of the revenue from this. Okay, and even according to Forbes magazine in 2017, they have over 3.5 billion US dollar revenue, and it's growing year on year. Okay, so now they're asking you, what is the strategic capability that is leading it for the success that it has. Okay, now let us read the answer. If you see the answer, first they have given you in bullet points the main points, and then they have explained you the points. Okay, first we'll go through this and then we'll go through the explanation. So at football club, you need to know that two things they are asking: strategic capability. Whenever a question asks about strategic capability, okay, you need to know that they're asking you two things. One is resources, whether it's core or not, unique or not, and the other one is competences. This is what they wanted to know, and this is what you have to answer. Okay, now first we'll go to the resources. Okay, any football club, what type of resources do they need? They need player. Okay, they need player. Can they operate without a player? Can you play football without player? No. You need a stadium where they can play the football. You need a manager who can manage these things, tickets and all those. You need a fan base. There should be a fan following. Otherwise, there's no use of you having the big stadium with the best player in the world and no one is watching you. Because ultimately, you want people to come to the stadium to pay for the ticket, and that's how you're earning the revenue. And also the finances. You need a big amount of finance to finance the football club. It's not easy. It's okay. And what about the competences? Certain type of things you need. You need tactical knowledge. You need training method. Someone has to be there for training you, the coaches and all. Youth development, you have to develop your youth, because it is the youth who is mostly will be playing in the football club. The one who are aged and all, they'll be retiring, right? And ability to attract sponsor, this is one of the biggest. You need sponsor, and you should have the ability to attract sponsor also. Not every football club has that ability. Okay, now let us read. Okay, so when we are talking about resources and competences, okay, in the answer you need to remember in your mind, even in your exam, it is about unique resources that you are talking about, and it is about core competences you are talking about. They are not talking about the threshold, because threshold anyone, any football club will need. But what it is that makes the Manchester United the way it is, the why it makes it so successful, because we are worried about the unique resources that they have and the core competences that they have. So first we'll go to the resources. Resources are pretty much easier to explain in nature because they are tangible. That is something you can buy, something you can touch, something you can see. Competences are something that is hidden. Okay, you have to dig a bit. Okay, So let us see the Manchester. There are two resources that they have explained. How do I know that they have explained two resources? Because you can see this is paragraph 1, this is paragraph 2. Looking at the number of the paragraphs, I can tell you there are two resources. This should be your approach of answering SBL answer when you are asked. Rather than putting everything in one paragraph, divide it in different paragraphs. Per paragraph means one point you are explaining. So here you are explaining two resources means two paragraphs. If it was three, then four, then four, like that. Obviously, you will not find so much. You don't have to explain 10 or 20 resources. It depends on the marks. Whenever they give you, let's say this question is asked for 6 marks. Let's assume. So how are you going to answer this? Maybe you can give 3 marks for resources and 3 for competencies. Equally, you can divide, or sometimes it might not be equal. Sometimes for one part, you might be having more to answer than the other part based on the case study that is given to you. Let's say resources, you can write 2, competencies maybe 4 points. Fair enough. It could be the other way. Here you are writing 4. Here you are writing 2. It could be the other way. It could be any way. But it should not be that you are writing only one resource and 5 competences, or 5 resources, 1 competence. It should not be like that. Keep a balance. 2, 2 is 3, 3 is fine. 4, 6 is also fine. Okay, but it should not be that you are not writing anything in resource and writing everything in competences, or writing everything in competences, nothing in resource. It should not be like that. Something has to be written. That's why they have asked you that question. Something is there. And that something is not from your textbook or anything. That is from your case study. Okay, so you have to link everything with what? Manchester United, Manchester United, Manchester United. You see the answer? It starts with Manchester United, Manchester United, Manchester United. Everything is about Manchester United here. This is how you need to answer. Okay, I've been repeating this many times. Please mention the name of the company or whatever it is given to you in the case study. This shows that you're linking to the case study. This is how you show the link. So number one resource. What is the number one resource? If you want, you can see from here. Out of this 5, they have only explained maybe 2. 2 they have explained in the answer. It's not possible for you to explain all the 5 and all the 4 here. It's not possible. They will not even ask you also for a question for that many marks. Okay, but in your mind you should know these other points. What are the 2 points that they have explained? One is the fan base, the other one is the stadium. These are its 2 resources. We are talking about unique resources, by the way. Okay, see, regarding the player, manager and finance, nothing is unique here because the case study does not say. If you read the case study again, what did they say? What did they say regarding stadium and fan base? They have over 600 million fans. So you can talk about fan. Okay. And what is the other thing? Their stadium. They have the biggest sporting institutions in the world. Means what? Stadium is the biggest, right? Right? Even they have been most valued sporting franchise in the world, according to Forbes. They are getting their revenue almost from there, 3.5 million. It's not easy. Getting huge revenue means you need a very big stadium so that many fans can come and see. So 2 things has been answered from the case study. So let's talk about these 2 resources. One is bigger fan base, as you can see. One is the bigger stadium. From the first line itself, you should always be in a hurry to write your points in the first line only. Don't try to drag it down and bring it at the end and keep it a uh, you know, don't keep it for this thing. Suspense. Examiner does not want suspense, neither you want it because you don't have that much of time. So when you're arranging the way how you have to write, keep it in the beginning only. The point has to be in the beginning and then you're explaining it. First line itself, when I read the first line in any paragraph, I should be able to tell, okay, this is the point. Like how I didn't even read the 3 4 lines, but I know from the first line they are talking about this is the resource. So let me highlight it for you. Bigger fan base, bigger stadium. These are the 2 resources. Simply it's answered. Now explain. So bigger fan base, okay, than any other sporting franchise in the world. Didn't they tell you in the case study? Over 600 million fans. That also you can put it in your answer if you want. They have over 600 million. Shows that they have a bigger fan base. So because of that, what happens? Just writing that line is not enough, by the way. What is the implication of that you have to tell? Just having a bigger fan, what are you going to do with the bigger fan base? How is it helping you to get your income? How is it helping you to get a better? That's what you need to answer. That's what you need to answer. So this allows them to garner more merchandising revenue than any other franchise. And also you can attract better deals from the sponsor. This is what you need to answer. Having that bigger fan base gives you more revenue than any other franchise. And also you can attract more sponsor, because obviously sponsor wants to sponsor for those events where the fan base is bigger, where where they can see revenue is very high. Any sponsor will want to go and sponsor on those things only. So it's easy for you to go in a better deal. You have the authority, you have the power over the sponsor to tell, okay, these are the deals, because you are powerful. You are in the powerful position. You have that bargaining power over the sponsor now. So this advantage it gives you. Coming to the second resource, that is the biggest stadium in England. Okay, and one of the biggest in Europe. One of the biggest in Europe. Okay, England it is biggest, but in Europe one of the biggest. There are other biggest also. So what happens because of this? Ultimately, you have to tell what happens because of this. That means this allows, this allows, this allows. So this is how you need to answer. Because of this, this happens. Because of this, this will happen. Always implications you have to give in SBL. Always, not just for this answer, but for any answer. That's how you secure your marks in SBL, which most students forget. They just give the resources. Okay, they have a bigger fan base. They have the bigger stadium. That's it. So what is the advantage of having that bigger stadium? It allows you to maximize match day revenue, maximize, and be one of the leaders from this source of income in the Europe. Because of having the biggest stadium, you could be the leader in that field where you can have the biggest income from that source. So these are the two things. Now let us go to the competences. Competences are explained more in detail. There are more competences than resources. Okay. Now tell me, if I ask you how many competences they have explained here. Tell me, looking at this. So I can see this one paragraph, two paragraph, three. Okay, this is sorry, this is together. Okay, that's two. The separation is because when I copy pasted it, it happens. It's second paragraph. This is the third paragraph. This is the fourth paragraph. So this shows that four competences I've explained. Mostly they have explained all these four. That's what I can make out from here. Okay. And if you see that the length of the paragraph is not same, okay, don't always try to find, because students often ask me through emails and other social media, ma'am, how many lines should I write for 5 marks? How many points should I write for? See, do not always base your answer based on how many lines or how many points you have to write. It's about the quality of your answer. Okay. And I cannot tell you, okay, write 2 lines, write 5 lines. It's not fixed. You don't always try to write 5 lines for each paragraph. It does not happen like that. Some you might finish it in 1 line only or 2 lines. Some you need 5, 6 lines, depending on the depth of the things which is given to you. Some needs more explanation. Some it is you don't have more points to explain it very simply. Like if you see here the second this thing, where is it? Just if you count the number of lines, the first one is smaller. Okay, the other ones are big. Okay, comparatively they're bigger. That means explanation is more. So don't count your answer based on the lines. Don't even worry about the how many lines you have to write. Don't even plan your answer like that. I'm going to write 5 lines, 6 lines. It's not about the line. It's about the point that you have to make. Okay, because due to the time, sometimes even if you write the point, you will not be able to finish it. You have to run out of it. Yeah, somehow you just have to write the main points and just finish it off and go to the next point. That's how the pattern of an ACCA is. Any exam you take. Here you can see it's a full-fledged answer. In your exam, you will not be able to write this much. It's not possible. Human is not possible. If it was, you would have gotten 100 or 100 in SB. Have you seen anyone getting it until now in the history? No one. Okay, let us read the first. Okay, so here, as I told you from the first line itself, there are two things which are common in every paragraph. That is Manchester United, Manchester United. Third paragraph also Manchester United, and fourth paragraph also Manchester United. It should be in your first line because that shows that you are linking to the case study. Have you talked anything about from your textbook knowledge part that competences is this? Competences means resources means nothing. No explanation is required. No definition is required. Straight away apply to the case study. Okay. First, and another thing is the point. Okay. So what is the point about? Acquiring and interacting with fans on social network. This is your competences. and Manchester United is a leader in that. Always when you have certain words like leader or the first, the fastest, the most popular, use this kind of words where it is you have the evidence to talk about it, where evidences are there. Don't write everywhere he's the leader, he's the leader. They cannot be leader in every field, come on. But some where they are the leader, it is better to mention with that point first. Keep that point in the beginning. That's how you structure your answer order, based on the preference, based on the importance. If he's a leader in something, better to put it in the first, then keeping it at the end, because at the end what happens is you might miss out on that very important point, because towards the end most of the students, they are not able to finish it also. So keep your very important points for the first, reserve it for the very beginning when you're writing, when you're allocating your time to write. Okay, so he's a leader in acquiring and interacting with fans on social networks. Now you must be thinking, what is so special about it? Why they are the leader? There are so many who does interact with fans on social network. No, the reason why it is like is the leader is because they don't always say they have a leader. Give a reference from your case study also, where you have figure number, use it. It's always good to use numbers in your answer. This shows that you have read the case study, you have understood it, you have integrated very well, and this secure your marks. It gives you more and more good high marks, not only in terms of your technical marks but also your professional skills. You're going to get marks. Okay, if you see or this thing, they have mentioned a number. What is it? 3.5 million review, over 600 million fans across the world. So how over 600 millions across the fan they are saying, right? So here they have over 65 million fans on Facebook alone. Okay, this figure they didn't give you anywhere, but it's always good to have some knowledge. If you have, see, whenever you have some knowledge about certain things, maybe you didn't read it anywhere in the textbook, maybe you know through their Facebook, you have just came across, you can use it in your exam. Feel free to use it in your answer. You can use it, you are free to do it. Because if you see in your case study, they have not mentioned this, that they have over 65 million fans on Facebook alone. 65 million fans, can you understand it, how big it is? Even most of the celebrities does not have this much of fan, not even half of it. Maybe 3 million, 2 million, 5 million, or 20 million, let's say, not 65 million, come on. So this shows the power of social network that Manchester United is ruling on. They are ruling on social network. Okay, maybe he went through the Facebook page to see what is the fan. So a student could, so if you are one of it, you can use this answer. There's no harm in that. It should not always be from the case study. This shows the practical side of you. That means you are practically aware of those things. Now, so what happens because of this? Tell, explain. It allows, this skill allows, lets this happen. Because of this, this attracts, this has the ability to do these things. Explain. Next thing is explain. First one is point, second is explanation of that point, how it helps. So this allows them, the fans, to be informed of the new product offering. Any product offering, you are informed, as well as you can even sell the event through social networking. Now you can book tickets also there on Facebook. There is a thing where you can book for the event, right? There is that icon over there when you go to the Facebook page and all, right? And broaden the club's brand image. What happens? What happens finally? Your brand image increases, the club's brand image increases. It helps to broaden it. It's a core competences. Not everyone has a is a leader on a social network. Everyone has a page, correct, but they are not leader. They do not have this much of fan. Coming to the second, competences. Okay, we'll talk about second is sponsorship. Okay, so here also they are ruling. How? Because it is one of the first club in the world to obtain sponsorship for their training equipment. For their training equipment. This also may be through somewhere they have read some magazine or some journal or something. Okay, so if you know these things, okay, good. So in 2013, AON, they agreed to pay the club around 20 million per season for the right to rename their Manchester United trading complex. Something that no other club has ever considered as a marketable asset. You see, no one has paid so much of attention to this sponsorship for the training equipment, but this club utilized it. So because they have that ability to attract this such sponsorship, this makes the club stand out. This is what you need to write it. It's like a conclusion you are telling. Because of this makes the club stand out against the rival. Because of the ability to attract sponsorship. We are going to the third now. What is the next? Unique ability against the elite teams in England in developing youth players for the first time. You're developing the youth. Okay? They have that unique ability. Not everyone has the unique ability to develop youth players. Not everyone. Okay? So now give example also. You might give examples and all if you have time to do it. If you do not have time, let's not jump too much into the examples and all. Okay, this is only if time permits you do it. So when Manchester were crowned champions of Europe in 2008, what happens? 5 members of their cup final squad had come through the club's ranks as youngster. Okay, all these things are examples and all. You write, you don't write, it does not affect so much, but better you write if you have the time. But if you don't write also, it's okay. See, our main thing is always keep in mind pass rate is 50% in SBL. So don't aim for 100 or 90s or something like that. Okay, 90s, okay, still I would say okay, but not, you cannot aim for 100. You cannot aim for perfection. That means sometimes it's better to leave some things out if it's not fitting in your time. Okay, rather than trying to squeeze your time to put it. No, don't do that. Don't ever do that mistake. And especially in SBL, you cannot afford that mistake because SBL is a very practical paper. It's a new kind of paper. You must have not done this kind of paper any other place. Okay, this is only one paper, so you cannot take a chance on this paper because you don't have a backup experience also how it looks like to say okay, if I do this things, I'm going to pass the paper. No, you do not have that support also. This is a very unique paper, so you cannot take the chance. Imagine you repeating this paper 4 hours you have to sit. Okay, so just think like that. By contrast, opponents, see, you can even give examples also to show that they have the unique ability to attract youth. How? Their opponent. Have they mentioned anything in the case study about opponent? No. This is through your reading. This is why essay as well is a very practical paper. That's why if you read answers, you will come across some answers that you have not read anywhere in the textbook. You have not even come across also. Why is it like that? Because they are reading it from other sources. Okay, I always recommend SBL students to read other sources also. Not very detailed, but on the top, on the face of it, you should know some things at least about football club. If you're talking about, you should know who are the teams. If you're reading about the cricket team, we should know which country play or some teams like that. Okay, some well-known teams, which everyone is aware of. So, component Chelsea, okay, Chelsea is also another English club, but they do not have players in their final cup that comes through the youth rank. So very clearly you have shown that they have the unique ability. You see how you're proving your point that they have unique ability by comparing it. Wherever comparison is required, compare. This is how you show that when you say that a team has a unique ability, you have to show how unique by comparison. Because without comparison, you cannot tell that this person is unique or not. Only with comparison comes the uniqueness. So they do not have youth. Okay. So because of this, it allows Manchester to do what? To keep a local tradition, to garner fan loyalty, and to reduce the team development cost also. Fan will be loyal, local tradition is also there, and your development cost will go down. Coming to the last point. Okay, last point is usually actually it's not a point. It is just like a conclusion, summarizing everything. Okay, so I will just read what is important in that. They are saying the strategic capability, okay, means not always having the right resources or right competences. Sometimes you might have to acquire the resources or acquire the competences, and sometimes you might have to develop on those, work on those to make it up to the highest quality so that it can lead you to competitive advantage. Okay, like in Manchester United, you cannot say only one resource or one competences is enough for you to have the strategic capability. No, it is the reason why Manchester United is successful is due to many resources and many competences that they have, and you need all of them together. It works. Success cannot be focused on only one thing. When you put all them together, then success is most likely to happen. That's how a club works. So that's it. Now let us move on to critical success factor. What are critical success factors? These are those factors that are very critical for the success of any organization. Okay, so CSF or critical success factor are the essential areas of a business that they must perform well. Okay, it's not an option, it's not your choice that if you want you perform well. No, it's a must. Essential areas. See, there are some areas that are desiring. If you do good, it's okay. If you don't do good, it will not affect so much. But some are essential which you cannot miss out. Okay, if you want to achieve the mission or the objective or the goal of the business. Second definition of CSF could be they are performance requirement. Okay, that means you need to perform well in this area so that you can be, and that are fundamental also to an organizational success. Or in other words, you can view them as those product features that customers value. There are some features which customers do not value so much. The absence of those features will not affect so much for the customer, but some feature customers really value. They look for those features in a product. Okay, it is in this area that organizations should perform better than their competitors. If you perform better than your competitors in those areas, you can say that you have achieved the critical success. These are your critical success factor. Okay, you have achieved what you want to. Now, examples of CSF for some major industries. Okay, let's take, there are some 4 industries where we have looked upon, and we'll see what are the critical success factor in those 4 major industries. And if you will be lucky if you get one of these 4 industries, so that you can easily link this critical success factor with those industries, right? Now, in automobile industry, what is the critical success factor? In the automobile industry, styling. You need styling. You need an efficient dealer network, because in an automobile industry, what you see is not made from one dealer. Your your steering wheel is made from some company. Your wheels, your looking glass, your seats, the paint that comes up from different things. So you need a group. It's like a group of industry are linked there. So that's why you need an efficient dealer network. Organization performance. Okay, these are the critical success factor. Coming to the food processing industry, what is there? Good distribution channel you need. Health aspect, whether you are using low fat and all, and new product development. In food and all, you always come up with new product development. Always new things comes up. So here, these are your critical success factor. Always better way of making a particular type of food. Let's say you have a food which is very oily. How do you make it less oily, less fat? More and more better, more and more health conscious for people. Okay, and you need a good distribution channel. Why? These are things which you cannot compromise on. It's not optional. You must have a good distribution channel in a food processing industry. Why? Food comes from various sources before it reach to the final consumer. Raw materials comes, you keep it in the store, keep it in the fridge, right? You give it to the distributor, retailer. It is there in the fridge. If it's freezing items and all, okay, some food becomes damaged, right? They do not stay for too long, like milk and all. So you need to store them. Then it goes to the supermarket where it is stored, and consumer comes and take it. So you need that good distribution channel from the raw material until it reaches the consumer. Life insurance industry, reputation. You will not go and invest in those insurance where reputation is bad. And innovative new policies, always new policies. And the fourth is supermarket industry. In the supermarket industry, what do you look for? Tell me. Will you look for the right product mix? Exactly. Whatever store you want, store you go, you want the product has to be there. What you are looking for. Let's say I'm looking for a particular food item or a cloth. Anything you want it there, it should be there in that store in that shelf. If it's not there, you will just walk away. You will go to the competitor. You will go to some other supermarket. It should be actually available on the shelf, and it should be priced also correctly. So these 2 things, the pricing and the availability on the shelf in the supermarket industry. There is a note. Remember, Critical success factor and competences are two different things. Do not mix up these two things. They are not same. Why? Critical success factor are what an organization needs to be good at, what you need to be good at. Currently, you might not be good, but you need to be good at this area. It's a must. Competences means you're already good at that thing. You're just writing a list that what you're good at. This is my skill. I'm good at this thing. This is my strength. You can say this. I'm good at this thing. I'm good in managing people. I'm good in keeping cost low. These are my competences. Critical success factor means these are the areas that you need to be good at. You have to work towards it. That is the difference. Okay. But don't worry, differences will not be asked in the exam. Okay, they will not ask you what is the difference in competences here. No, it's not asked. It's just for you understanding it better, so that you do not confuse these two things. Now, coming to the organizational knowledge. Okay, see, organizational knowledge is also a strategic capability. Didn't we say in the beginning that competences are something which is uh, intangible? Knowledge is one part of it. So, organizational knowledge we are studying in depth, because this also could be a strategic capability. If you have an organization knowledge, you are a you can stand against your rival. Okay. Okay, what is an organization knowledge? If you have an organization knowledge, okay, if you have that kind of environment where it is you are being encouraged to share the knowledge, to develop your knowledge, it can make you stand against your rival, because this whole lecture is what things that you have which your rivals do not have, simply. So organization knowledge is one of it. What is organized knowledge? It could be like you should be aware of the technological changes that's happening. You should be aware of the changes in the substitute. See, if substitute comes and you are not aware that your product has a substitute, you will easily be thrown out of the industry tomorrow. You'll be wiped off by your competitor completely by today or tomorrow in a few years' time. Sometimes the change happens so rapidly that you might not even know. That's why it's very important that you're aware of the substitute. What could be the substitute? If there is, you can work before it is actually a threat to you. So organization knowledge will help you to make things know before the worst thing actually happens. You can be aware of it. You can be more proactive rather than reacting to a bad situation, such as being expecting what is the technological changes. What are the technological changes in the field of finance, if I ask you? Cryptocurrency, the digital ledger, the blockchain, the cryptocurrency. And not many firms know how to work on operate cryptocurrencies and all. It's on a technological platform and all. So it's suddenly the field of the finance changed because of the technological vibes and all, right? That is one example in finance. There are so many other examples also in other field. Next, resources. Okay, see, resources like staff, skill, and the asset, you can purchase them. You can purchase. Can't you purchase staff who has all the skills in them? You can purchase. Assets, you can purchase. But what about the capabilities? They must be developed and grown. Or not capabilities, I would say competences. You must develop them and you must grow them. You cannot purchase them. Can you purchase someone's knowledge? No. You can either help them to develop their knowledge if you have the stuff, and help them to grow. They will be having some existing knowledge. On that you have to work and help them to develop it more. Organization knowledge is cumulative in nature. Over the past, the history, years, you develop this knowledge through experiences, bad experiences, good experiences. You develop this knowledge. It's very cumulative. So not that you have it and I will acquire it today and it will diminish. No, it's always keep on increasing. It's like a account where you are keeping your money, you are saving your money, and it's accumulating, right? So organization knowledge is also like that. Not in the bank knowledge, but in your brain, inside your head. It's accumulating. Environmental analysis, staff development, process improvement, organization structure, they can all impact and improve organization knowledge. So these are the ways how you can improve an organization knowledge. How? You do an environmental analysis. Why? You want to know what is your position compared to the environment. For that, we have a model like PESTEL. You develop your staff, give them the classes, courses that they need, or teach them or coach them. Process improvement, improve your process. Organization structure, improve on those, right? Then organization must recognize the successful development of organization knowledge can be a critical success factor. Why are we even studying organization knowledge? Because this can be one of the critical success factor for your organization. If organization recognizes this, nothing can stop them from being successful, right? Now, the growing importance of knowledge management. How can you manage this knowledge? We know that this other knowledge, our staff, okay. How do you manage it? And why it is so important that you have to manage this? There are some reasons for it. Number one. Now, both businesses and not-for-profit organizations, they are more complex than before they were. Okay, before they were not so complex, they were easy to handle. Now they have become very complex, and so more knowledge is needed to manage them. Okay, you need more knowledge to manage this kind of organizations now in today's date. Example, okay, example, there are many government regulations that have to be followed for health and safety, isn't it? If you're in the health industry, or let's say you are running a government school, there are so many government regulations that you need to follow. Earlier it was not like that, so difficult. So the government even sets many more targets also so that they can monitor the performance of schools and hospitals. So if you do not have the knowledge of this, the regulations, government regulations, can you follow smoothly? Can you comply with the government regulations? No. No. Second, the environment, the technology, the competitor, they are changing so rapidly that if you are not aware of things, if you do not have the knowledge, you will be behind them. You will always be behind them, behind your competitor. Look at the pace of change in the broadcast internet industry. What is the pace of change? Every 2 years is changing. Not even 2 years, I think even less than 2 years maybe. Then the move from manufacture to service industry. What does it mean? It means service industry means you have to deal with the people. Because services you cannot give a person, people only can give services, right? Service industry compromises more of labor than machines, whereas manufacturing compromises more of machine than the people. So when you're moving from manufacture to service, greater proportion of an organization knowledge is likely to be tacit. Tacit means something which is there in you. You cannot give it. You cannot purchase it from somewhere. You cannot transfer it to someone. You have the knowledge in you. So you come with that knowledge. So greater proportion of it is there. Organization knowledge is likely to be tacit. So what happens? What happens? See, when you have to define a product, specify a product, it's very easy. You say this are the feature, this are the things. But how do you specify uh, but it's harder to specify everything that should happen in the successful delivery of a service. You cannot say the service should be like this, or you cannot define a service, specify a service, because service is different. The service that I give you will be different to the service that I give someone else. Maybe both of you might come to me at the same time, but the level of service that both of you receive will be different. The experiences that both of you receive will be different, even if I'm the same person sitting here and giving you the service. See, the lecture that I'm giving you is a service now. You are getting the benefit, it's a simultaneous thing. I, I cannot tell the service that someone has achieved from me or got from me as the same that you are getting. Experience, if you two sit together, will be very different. It's very hard to specify. But product, yes. Features I give will be same. What you have understood from the what the other person understood, it will be the same. Right? It will be the same. That's why it's important so that you uh, know that knowledge management is important. You manage this stuff. You manage because they are the knowledge. They have the knowledge that is important for the successful uh, organization. And then greater job mobility means that unless captured and recorded, valuable knowledge can be lost as staff move on. See, staff moves very easily nowadays. Not like those days when they used to stay their whole career in one organization when they used to retire. No. Now, job mobility is very great. It's easy for one staff to go from one job to another, switch from one job to another. Because of that, what happens? Valuable knowledge that a particular staff has goes along with the staff wherever the staff moves on. So unless you capture his knowledge or record the knowledge which the staff has, you are going to lose a valuable knowledge. Understanding? Now, let us do a question, test your understanding 7 on knowledge management. Test your understanding 7. Okay, so here they are saying that how can you encourage individuals to freely give up uh, and share knowledge? Okay, freely give up and share knowledge. Okay, why? Because many people believe that keeping knowledge secret is the power. You can have a unique power over someone else if you have a knowledge and keep it secret rather than sharing it. Okay, but knowledge management says no. Knowledge has to be uncovered and has to be shared. Now, how do you encourage someone who does not want to give up the knowledge secrets to someone else? So let's see. Okay, so there are some ways that you can encourage. Like one of the way is, uh, if everyone shares their knowledge, each person should gain more than they give up. Remember, when someone shares their knowledge, make sure that each person, the one, okay, each person, they should gain more than they give up. More than the knowledge that they are giving, they should gain more. Okay, so as you can see here, this person, okay, my pen is not working. Okay, so this person, as you can see, he's giving up his knowledge to someone else, and at the end all the four of them are happy, right? All four of them are happy. This is just a picture to show. Okay, obviously you will not get a question like this in SBL, come on, and you don't have to draw these happy faces. It's just to explain you that they are getting more than they are giving up, so you can convince the person that if they give their knowledge, they too can get the gain along with the one to whom he's giving the knowledge. Okay, so that means the whole organization is benefiting out of it. Then we are moving to the second point. See, organization is very complex, right? It's the way it is structured is very complex. It runs on with the support of everyone. An organization has a finance team, it has a human resource team, it has a marketing team, it has a sales team. Everyone is important. Everyone together runs it. Organization is one, but it has many different people there. So you cannot say one person can run the whole organization. It's not possible. It will be too much for that person. He might not have the knowledge of entire thing. So he alone cannot run. So it's better there is teamwork and they share the knowledge. Right? Teamwork and they share the knowledge. That is the safest way that they can go ahead in the future. Because everyone will be having their own knowledge, they'll be sharing with each other, things like that. Next, third, knowledge is perishable. Yes, you have heard it right. Knowledge is perishable. It's not that the more you keep it, the more it will keep increasing and you will be the most knowledgeable or the smartest, whatever you think of yourself. It's not like that. It diminishes, it's perishable. So it's better you share it with someone else before it runs out. Why? Because you see the pace of change is so high, it's very high now. What you have learned today will be outdated tomorrow if you don't not give it to someone else. Okay, the moment you acquire the knowledge you have to use it quickly, otherwise it will be wasted. It's like the food that you have which only stays for 2 or 3 days. After that it's waste. No matter however much you keep it, you cannot use it. Knowledge is also like that. You cannot keep the same knowledge for 10 years. It's perishable. You have to quickly use it wherever it is that you can use that current knowledge, otherwise it will be wasted. Okay, and if the knowledge is not shared, chances are that it becomes worthless before it can be used. So even if you cannot use the knowledge that you have acquired, share it with someone else. Who knows, maybe that someone else can use your knowledge, that knowledge, and he can be successful, right? It will be worth it for him or her. Knowledge is never worthless for anyone. The moment you share with someone, it will be worth it for someone, right? Now, look my thing as an example. The what I know about ACCA things, I'm sharing it with you. If I've kept it with you, okay, it will benefit me, but only for a limited time. But now, since I'm sharing it worldwide on the YouTube channel, it's benefiting everyone is passing out from this knowledge. That knowledge is helping people, right, to pass out this exam, and they are actually passing. So it's worth it. It's worthful for everyone, right? Then the fourth. Knowledge management is vital to the success of many business. We all know this. The more you manage the knowledge, the more successful you will be. Okay, but it's up to you how creatively you use the knowledge. Okay, there is a good and a bad way of using the knowledge. Either you can use the knowledge for your some motive, okay, which is not so fair, or I would say not so just, okay, some unfair motive, but you can use the same knowledge creatively also for the betterment of the organization. Okay, so if you do this, chances are you will beat your rivals who are poor in management knowledge. Okay, they are not so good in managing their knowledge. You can beat against them. Okay, so organizations compete with rivals. It is the organization who competes with rivals. It's not the people that they already started competing with each other. Okay, so this is it. Now let us move on to our last internal analysis of the organization, the last tool, the last model that we are going to use, that is SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis. Now, this is one of the easy to understand, easy to apply. Okay, because SWOT stands for strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Opportunities and threats are external to an organization which you cannot control. Okay, strengths and weakness is something you can work upon, it's internal. Okay, so let us see internal and external. As I've told you, strengths and weaknesses are internal, opportunities and threats are external. Internal means they are talking about resources and capabilities that we have just covered in this lecture, whereas external opportunities and threats come from your external environment. That means they are talking about environment and industry structure. The models that we have covered, what are the models to understand opportunities and threats? Your pastel, porter's five forces, porter's diamond. And internal, your resources and competences, right? So now when you're coming to the examination, how are you going to deal with SWOT analysis? Remember, in your examination, okay, they will feature scenarios. Okay, in your exam, you will be given some scenarios if they are asking you SWOT analysis. Okay, they will give you some scenarios saying what happened in the history, what happened in the past, what is the current position today, and what will be the future state. Okay, so what the candidates are supposed to do in that condition? They have to analyze the strategic position of the organization. How do they do it? You can use SWOT analysis also to do that, right? But examiner is saying for your SBL exam, they are saying it is more better, more productive, and more impressive for the examiner to use other analysis tool like pestle. It is better to use pestle than SWOT analysis to tell the reasonable position. Yes, it is true. When you want to analyze a strategic position of an organization, you can use SWOT analysis also. That's the reason we are doing SWOT analysis, right? But they are saying no, use pestle or Porter's five forces. They are better. They are more impressive, they are more productive also in giving you answers to analyze a strategic position. So when a question says analyze the strategic position of this organization, the name of the organization will be given. It is said use pestle. If information like political, economical, social, technological features are given, use pestle. Otherwise, use Porter's five forces if they give information like bargaining power of supplier, bargaining power of threat of new entrance, threat of supply, substitute, things like that. Depending on the information that is given to you, you have to use the model. But SWOT analysis, I have not seen a question in SBL in the past where they have asked you to do SWOT analysis. Then why are we doing SWOT analysis? We'll come to it a little bit later. Okay, I will explain you why we are studying the SWOT analysis and how we are going to use this SWOT analysis in your actual SBL exam. Before that, when you're using SWOT analysis, this is how you use. Okay, maybe in the exam you don't have to use a SWOT analysis from the beginning, from the scratch, but in your practical world, real world, when you do a business case scenario, when you make a business project, okay, when you have to say, okay, this is the strength or weakness of my product and all of my company, you have to do a SWOT analysis, right? So there you need these things. How do you analyze it? The first step is you have to rank in the order of importance. There will be so many strengths, so many weaknesses, so many opportunities, so many threats. What is very important? Rank it according to the order. Not everything you can list, but rank according to the order. Second, okay, after that, after you have ranked it, do this. Strengths that match no opportunity are of little use without an opportunity. See, you might have a strength, particular strength, which is very good. But if there is no opportunity for you to use the strength, that strength is not a strength. It's not good of having the strength which is not useful. Where there is no opportunity for you to use the strength, you should be able to use the strength in an opportunity. So look, match your strength with the opportunity. You see, where you can use your strength in what opportunity, you have to match it in that analysis. This is how you do SWOT analysis. Find. Second, a distinctive competence is a strength that can be exploited. If you have a very distinctive, very rare competence that your competitors does not have, it's a strength. You can exploit it somewhere. Third, strategies can be developed which does these three things. What are those? Neutralize weaknesses or convert them into strengths. You might have some weakness. You might have to employ certain types of strategy that will help your weaknesses, that will help you to overcome your weakness or convert weakness into the strength. Second, convert threats into opportunities. Now you are seeing some threat. Use some strategy or develop some strategy through which you can convert that threat into that threat becomes an opportunity for you, or match strengths with opportunity, as we have seen in the beginning. Okay, now let us illustrate this SWOT for a small advertising agency to understand how you can use a SWOT analysis. Okay, so this, it has 12 staff. This small advertising agency, they have 12 staff. Out of 12, 4 of them are joint owners. Okay, regarding their client base, they have a very strong client base across many industries like healthcare, training, publishing, sports, financial institutions. Okay, they have never taken working capital management or not even the financial side of the business very seriously, even to the extent that it can never be sure that clients are being billed properly or not. They are not even sure also clients are being billed properly or not. Still, they didn't take the working capital management and financial of the business very seriously. It now has a chance to bid for a new large national contract from a major company. Please understand. They are in a small advertising agency, but now they are bidding for a large national contract for a major company. So what could be the strengths and weakness? First, we will work on that. Okay, strengths. One strength is their client portfolio is very well diversified. They have clients from every field, finance, health. Just now we saw the list. Second, strong management team. Because if management team is not strong, it's not possible that they have such a wide client portfolio. Understood, right? Third, profitable. Isn't it? They are profitable. That's why they can bid for the large of this thing. They have been there in the organization for over the years. Listed on the stock exchange. Okay. They're low gearing. That's why they never had to work on the working capital management or financial side, because they're low gearing. If they were high gearing, they would have worried about it. By taking on, they would have taken debt, they would have taken loan, right? Low gearing. Award winners. They definitely must have been award winners, otherwise they cannot bid for the large contract like that. They would have not got the chance also to bid for it if they were not award winners. Differentiated personal service. Yes, they give differentiated personal service. That could be a strength. And established 60 years ago. It's a strength, because when you are in the organization for over 60 years, you're very well established. You know the rules of the market. You know who is your client. You know who are your strong suppliers. You know who are your strong customers. You know things like this. And you are trusted also. You have a dominant position also in the industry. What could be the weakness? High work in progress level. Okay, in this, work in progress levels are high. You are in advertising field. Second, high level of receivable is there. Yes, you might not be paid. Poor control of time allocation to clients. You cannot give time to all the client. Poor. Limited access to debt finance. Okay. Reach overdraft limit. You must have reached overdraft limit. Very chances are there. It could be a weakness in the advertising this thing. Lack ability to service very large clients. You are a small advertising agency. Okay, so it's very likely that you might not have the experience to service a very large client. 40% of turnover from only 2 clients. It's not good, because that means most of your turnover you are it's based on the 2 client. What if one of the 2 client leaves? Revenue suffers, no? Majority of the revenue should not be tied to just 2 clients. rather than keep many small clients is better. Reason complaint from a tone of an advert. That's a weakness. Now, coming to the opportunities, and what could be the opportunity? Tender for a major contract? Yes. Expand overseas? Yes. Launch an internet marketing advisory service? Buy a rival? Move into film production? This opportunity. Threads. When there's a recession, downward pressure on volume and price, and no one wants to go for advertising. Volume they will reduce, prices they will reduce. Loss of bank support. Bank support also will not be there. Loss of a major client. Customers moving to e-marketing. If they are moving to e-marketing, your agency will suffer. Loss of key staff. Yes, it's a threat. Taken over by a rival, or take over by a rival is also a threat. Same could be an opportunity also. See, either you could buy a rival or either the rival could buy you. Now, analysis of key strength. Before we go to this, I want to make one thing very clear. Now I will tell you the reason why we are doing SWOT analysis. In the exam, they will not tell you what we have just seen. Strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. They will not tell you what is the strength of this organization, what is the weakness of this organization, what is the opportunity of this, what is the table. Make a table. They will not tell you like this. This they used to ask in the maybe the F level papers, not at the professional level paper. You cannot expect, because if they tell you to do these things, this is pretty much very easy. Number one, number two, marks also will not be so much. At this level, at P level, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to analyze, not make up a SWOT analysis table and tell this other weakness, this other strength. No. In the exam, they will give you the weakness, they will give you the strength, they will give you the opportunities and threats. Now you have to analyze. Because to analyze something is more tougher than actually preparing things. Remember that. So at this stage, this is P level paper, professional level paper, you are supposed to analyze. They will give you things. They will already they must have given you the table of SWOT analysis. You have to analyze why this thing could happen, how this thing could be done. If this is a threat, how it could be converted into an opportunity, or how it could have an effect on the organization. This is what you have to do in the analysis. Okay. And when you are doing a SWOT analysis, remember from the table that they give you, they must have give you 10 strengths or 10 weaknesses. You cannot deal with all the strengths and weaknesses. In the exam, it's not possible. Don't even try. If I'm saying it's not possible, it's through experience, I'm telling you. It's what I've heard from others, I'm telling you. It's what I have gone through, I'm telling you. So don't try to challenge me, or don't try to challenge those who have already passed before you, saying I can deal, I'm very efficient, I'm very good in time management. No matter however plan you must have done or time management, how good you are with your time management. It's not about it. It's about the length of the things that is given to you in the case study and the added pressure, because it's an exam and it's a first time experience for you, because SBL is a very different scenario. I'm telling you, when you go to the exam, you will actually understand. You don't even have to go to the exam hall. You do a mock at home, 4 hours, you will understand. The nature is things is very different. Everything looks easy, but when it comes to answering, it becomes very difficult what to answer. How I begin answering. So when you're talking about whether it is strength, weakness, opportunity, threat, out of this four, whatever it is, only some few you have to pick up. You have to use your judgment here. Few things, key strength, key weakness, key opportunity, key threats you have to pick up to analyze. That means when you're discussing, analyze means what you're discussing, right? More in depth. Only few things, maybe 10 weaknesses are given. Out of 10, you can only pick top three or top four, like that. That's it. Keep a limit of how many you can take. You have to prioritize them. Okay? Which one is important? Which one should I leave? Talk about those things where case study information is given to you, evidences are given to you, you can talk more about. Where you can talk less, you don't have so much to talk about, leave it aside. That is the best strategy I will tell you to answer SBL answer. Okay? Where you have more things to talk about, facts are given in the case study, figures are given, write those things. And forget about the rest. The 7. Top 3? Cool, fair enough. Now starting with analysis of key strength. The other weakness, opportunity, threats will do a test your understanding. 8. In the question we'll do this of the same question. Okay, advertising formula. So here they have given you how they have analyzed the advertising agency. Analysis of key strength. If you went through that analysis list, the strength, how many strengths were there? I don't remember. Let's go back. Yes, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strengths are there. Out of 8, they will be talking only about maybe 2 or 3. Okay, so the first strength is wide portfolio of client. You see, this is very easy because in the case study also they told about the portfolio of client, that they enter every field. So this is one of the easiest thing for you to talk about. Key strength of the company is where? That it has a wide portfolio of client. This is one of the key strength. You have talked about it, now explain. It's not important. See, don't go and repeat. Already it's given to you wide portfolio of client is a strength. Don't again go in the analysis and write key strength of the company is wide portfolio of client, full stop, and go to the next strength. It's not like that. Explain more about it. And this should come from your side. This analysis what that you are doing should come from your side. It's not nowhere in this thing. You have to link certain pieces of information from this exhibit to that exhibit. What is exhibit? You will understand if you go through a case study. Your case study is not given in one integrated this thing, one page. No, it is given in different exhibits. It's divided into many sections, which is known as exhibit. So there will be 5, 6 exhibits. Okay, that is the meaning of exhibits. So when you are answering a requirement, you have to make use of all this exhibit. You have to pick information from this exhibit to that exhibit and link them. That's how you do an analysis. Analysis does not mean everything will come so easy to you. Everything will be given in one exhibit, in one piece of information only you will get everything. No. If you are lucky, yes. Very rare. But most of the time, 2, 3 exhibits you have to use and take up the information. Maybe financial information will be in one exhibit. Non-financial will be in somewhere else. The newspaper article will be in somewhere else. So collect, integrate them and write your answer. That is the meaning of analysis. That's why analysis is difficult. Because collecting information from various sources and then coming up with the conclusion is difficult. If you have got everything ready made, things would be very easy, right? But unfortunately in SBL things are not so ready made. This what makes SBL a challenging paper. This is the reason why SBL is a challenging paper. That's the only reason. There's nothing else. If you go by the content, the textbook knowledge, it's very easy. SBL is one of the easiest. But when it comes to cracking the exam, be very careful. It is not as that easy as you think. Okay, I'm not making you scared, but I'm giving you the reality check. I'm telling you how really SBL is. It's not that what you want to hear, it's what you must hear, and what you should hear. I'm telling you. So analysis part is here. The company will therefore not be reliant on one industry group for its revenue. This is analysis. Definitely, when you have a wide portfolio, means you are not dependent on one client or one industry. If one industry suffers, the other industry will perform good. Definitely, it's not that all the industry together will suffer poorly, right? Some industry will prosper, so you can rely on those for your income. So this is the analysis part we are talking about. Maybe for evidences in the case study, actual SBL exam, you might have to use figures also to support how they are getting the benefit from other industry. How, but there it will be given. Here it is just a test understanding is small, simplified version. So here you don't have to talk so much about that. You can just say relying on one industry. Okay. So relying on many industries is better than relying on one industry. Okay. How talk this from the point of advertising because you are an advertising agency firm. Okay, so this is likely to mean that if one industry type cut backs on advertising or they move to some other forms of marketing, companies will be able to rely on the other industries for income. That means they can do advertising from other industries and get it. Right? Second strength is what? Marketing awards that they have won. One of the strength I remember the list was awards that they have won, right? This is another strength. Because of this, they can attract customers to the company. That means existing customers will remain loyal and they might not want to switch to the company rival. This is the analysis part you are doing. Marketing award is good, but what is the implication is customers will be loyal. They will not move to the rival. Third strength. So only 3 out of the 8, only 3 they have analyzed. You have to choose which one to analyze. as a listed company. Isn't it a listed company? It's a. So because of it's a listed business, what happens? See how you are linking the part that is listed with the finance. See, this is analysis. Because many people does not know the meaning of analysis. What is it? They just list what is given to you in the case. That's it. Copy paste. It's not analysis. As a listed company, you will be able to raise external equity finance. Correct? So because of this, what happens? You can fund new strategies. Wherever there are opportunities, you can fund any new strategy that you come up with. Why? Because you have the finance. Because you are a listed company, you have the finance available with you. You can raise easily the external equity finance. So because of that, you can fund any strategy wherever opportunity arises. This is the analysis part you are doing. Okay. So now let us finish your test your understanding 8, where we are going to go through the same case study, same thing, but we are going to analyze the key weakness, key opportunity, and key threat. Test your understanding 9. So this is the case which we have been taking for doing our analysis of the strength. Okay, key analysis of the strength. Now taking the same advertising agency's example, we are going to do the analysis of the key weakness, key opportunity, and key threats. Okay, now key if you see analysis of key weakness, opportunities, and threats, you will see that there are only 3 top key weaknesses that they have been talking about. There are top 3 key opportunities that they have been talking about, and then there are top 3 threats they have been talking about. So whenever you have to analyze an opportunity, threat, weakness, or strength, key, okay, you will be obviously in the list, in the strength, weakness, opportunity, threats diagram, you'll be given more than 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even up to 10 weaknesses or strengths, opportunities, or threats. But when you have to analyze, only top 3. Okay, so top 3. Stick to this. It will be easier. This will make your life very easy. How do you do the analysis? Okay, remember there is a professional marks attached to this one, analysis skill. Before actually going to this case study, I will take you to the professional skill so that you know while writing how you get the professional skills, how do you get marks. Okay, so in the SWOT, it is not just the duplication of what is written in the bullet points. Okay, instead, a further sentence or two is added to explain the relevance to the company, the importance of the issue, and the implication for the future. And link to the other areas of the SWOT. You should be able to link your weakness with strength. You should be able to link with the opportunities to weakness. You should be able to link with your threats to. You should be able to do this along the SWOT analysis. When you're doing the analysis, that is the meaning. Okay. So this is how we achieve the professional skill marks for analysis. Understanding? Now, what examiner will worry about? They will be concerned with your style and your approach, not just your content. Obviously your content is important, what you're writing, but the style, the way you are writing it. Okay, for example, are you writing it in subheadings? Are you using 3 analysis only, the top 3? Are you putting it in different paragraphs? Are you able to link the weaknesses with opportunities? Okay, we'll show how do you link that. Also I will show you a demo in this, through this question only. Okay, so this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3, the weaknesses, different paragraphs. This is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3, the opportunities. And coming to the thread also, this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3. Okay, and finally you should be able to give an overall position, because remember SWOT analysis is, what are you doing? What are you doing in a SWOT analysis? You are giving an overall position only, right? Overall position. So that you should be able to do in few lines. And when you are talking about overall position, how are you doing it? From what you have written before. Okay, from what you have written at the top. Basically those things only you are writing here again, overall. But keep it very brief. We are not writing again, this is the weakness, this is the opportunity, this is the threat, this is the strength, nothing like that. Okay, to reach to that point, you have to first complete your analysis correctly of the weakness, opportunities, and threats. We'll see now, starting with the weakness. Okay, so any weaknesses you can pick any three and explain. Okay, it need not be what is there in the answer. But the safest thing is when you're unsure whether your one is correct or not, I would say go by the answer given to you, because already explanation is given. You know this is how you're going to get the marks, rather than you coming up with your own points and breaking your head whether that's right or not. Are you getting the marks, professional skills or not? If you're writing your own points other than this three, other than what is given in the answer, make sure it is checked by someone else, not by you, because you are not in the position to mark yourself. Right now, you're not at that stage that you can review your own answers, especially if the answers is not given anywhere. If answer is given, your answer is matching, okay, you can mark. But if it's different, then make sure that someone else marks it. Okay, coming to first weakness. Okay, first weakness is that they have high levels of work in progress. What happened to my pen? Why it's not able to? Okay, some issue with this is not being. There is some issue with this actually. Okay, anyway, let's not worry so much about it. So there are high levels of work in progress and receivable. What does this mean? Will tie a lot of cash, will consume lot of your cash. Okay, receivable means customers didn't pay you, they had to pay you, they still didn't pay, high level. And even your work in progress is high, work is not completed, that means you will not be able to sell it also until you finish, convert the work in progress to finished goods. So it will tie a lot of your cash, because this work in progress will stay in the stocks. So what happens because of this? Or let's say for work in progress you cannot get the money for advertising, right? You cannot get money, it's work in progress, still is not completed. So this will limit the company's ability to finance new opportunities. So because of this, see how you will link with weaknesses, how you link this weaknesses with opportunity. This will limit the company's ability to finance new opportunities. You see how you're linking the weakness to opportunity, how you are saying because of these weaknesses you will miss out on that opportunity. This is where you are going to get your analysis marks, professional skills. Okay, because you will run out of cash, it will reduce, it will limit. That means even if there are new opportunities you cannot finance, you will not have the cash to finance the new opportunity. Coming to the second weakness, what is the second weakness? Overdraft limit. Okay, so because of this what happens, it will limit the company's ability to take on new work. You cannot expand your business, you cannot take on new work because you are reaching the overdraft limit. Okay, sometimes even your entire existence might be put at risk. Number three, what is number three? Could be relying on two clients 40% of his revenue. So what happens if the client leaves? If one of this client leaves, what happens? Again, survival becomes the issue, right? So what should you do? See, analysis means what could be the implication in the future. Customers could leave. How do you solve it? That also you can write. For example, here they have told that you can expand your client in order to reduce the reliance. So this is your analysis skill. This is where you are showing your analysis skill. Getting technical marks as well as the professional skills. Okay, you are seeing the impact that if one customer leaves, it will impact, therefore expand the client base. Okay, coming to the opportunity. I'll be a little quick on this because since you know the pattern, now you know the structure, now you know how to deal with opportunities also. Okay, so opportunities as we have listed, tender for a major new client. So what will this happen? Now you see how you have linked this with your weakness. What was your weakness before? That you have been relying on the two clients who are giving you 40% revenue. Now, since you have got that opportunity to expand your client, you are going to go for a major new client. What happens? Your weakness. You can reduce your weakness. You can overcome that weakness through that opportunity that you are getting. That means you don't have to rely on a few customers now. It will reduce your reliance. You see, this is what we say we are linking. This is the link. This is how you're getting analysis skills, linking opportunity with the weakness. But again, you see how you are linking. It is likely to put further pressure on short-term work in progress and overdraft. You see, we have mentioned that there were weaknesses, overdraft and work in progress. Now you are linking weakness with opportunity. Again, this is analysis skill. You can say, okay, expand. But what about the impact on the work in progress and overdraft? Short term, you are going to put pressure on it. Okay, so what should the company do? You are saying in the future what the company should do. Company also needs to consider whether it has resources and skills to meet the needs of the large client. This is something in the future you have to think about. When you're going for it, you have to think about whether you have the resources, do you have the skill for the need of the large client? This is your analysis skill. Okay, like this you have to do for the others also. Okay, so I'm not going to show you from here onwards what is your analysis skill. You need to understand from the case study what part is the point, what is your opportunity that you have just explained, and after that what is your analysis skill, how you have analyzed it. It's up to you. I'm leaving it, but I'm going to go through the points. Second, e-marketing. E-marketing services. Company can start, this is an opportunity, they can go for e-marketing services. So this means you need to invest in the skills to do e-marketing, and also you need the resources to provide these services. Okay, coming into third. What is third? Third one is what? It's a backward integration. Third one is a backward integration. What is backward integration? You are moving into the film production. There are two ways of integration: forward, backward, forward. I'm sure you know it. Backward means you are going back. So if you move into the film production, what happens? What is the opportunity? Control over the key cost and key resource. You can control the key resource and the cost. But again, remember there are disadvantages. What is it? It restricts the company's ability to move into other areas, and customers may no longer desire the filmed adverts as a source of marketing also. So there could be a problem because of that. Okay. Moving to the thread. What is the first thread? Recession. Recession. In recession, what happens? You cut back on the discretionary expenditure such as marketing. Is marketing so important in the recession? Is it a must? No. You can cut back on this. You will cut back. Okay, so they move on to the down market, to the lower rivals, so low cost rivals, and they move away from differentiated service. Remember, you are giving a differentiated services. So they move away from that and go to the low cost rivals. This is your analysis skill is here only. That they will move to down cost, low cost. This is the impact you are giving. What could be the impact in the future? They might move away to the low cost, away from differentiated. This is your analysis. Okay, the point that you have to mention, what is the threat, is here in the recession. Okay, that in a recession customers are likely to cut back on discretionary expenditure. That is your point. After that you are explaining, analyzing. Okay, right after you explain the point in one line, second point after the full stop should be analysis. You are analyzing it. Coming to the second, what is the second thread? Loss of key stuff. Loss of key stuff is your second. Okay, so how can you do this? Analyze. How can you make sure that they do not lose? You can give them loyalty bonus, you can give them strong reward scheme. Okay, or you can even put them protection clauses also, so that they will stop taking any client once they leave your firm. And the third one is what? E-marketing avenues. Okay, see, e-marketing is opportunity, but it could be a threat also. Okay, moving to e-marketing. How? Because if customers wants to move to e-marketing, what if the company does not move to e-marketing? What if they do not switch immediately? Then a steady decline in revenue. Now, finally, let us give an overall conclusion to it. Now you have went through weakness, strengths, weakness, option, threat. What is the overall picture that is coming to you? Overall picture is company is at a position. Currently, what position company is at? Company is at a position where it needs to adapt to its changing environment. Okay, so what should be its first priority? Sort out his financial position and obtain the finance. You have to obtain finance after sort out your financial position also, to secure its viability, that your finance is viable, and also to finance new opportunities. There are new opportunities that are there, e-marketing, then tender. For all this, what do you need? You need finance. And to need finance, what should you do? You should make sure it's secure. Okay, and how do you make it secure? By sorting out your financial position. Remember in the beginning they told they do not care about financial position and this things like that. You have to start caring about it first. Then only you can obtain finance. Okay, and finally, if then needs to consider offering e-market service, yes, definitely. What opportunity? If you have to give e-market, so what is the biggest thing that you can write? Opportunity, e-marketing services. Obviously, when you're writing, you're not writing all the opportunities. 10, 20 opportunities you're not writing in the overall. Only one, major one. You have to think which one is a major. Use judgment. E-marketing could be one. So if you're thinking of considering e-marketing services, you need finance or not. Okay, e-marketing is less costlier than marketing, but even if it's less costly, that less cost also you need. It's a finance that you need to fund it. You need to not only in terms of resources, technical resources, like you need IT, internet, or not all those things. You need to even invest in the staff also. You need to train them to use it in the e-marketing services. So that's it. Now let us go through the other key drivers of change. What are the other key drivers of change? Why need to change a strategy? Okay. Number one reason could be the change may come as a reaction of a competitor actions. Maybe because of the competitor's action you might have to change. Or maybe you have changed your competitive strategy completely. Earlier you were a cost leader, now you want to go to a differentiation strategy or even a focus strategy. Then second, maybe the changes from the organization's environment. After you have analyzed the environment, you came to know that there is some new technology that is available. Maybe regulation changed, maybe taste, the customer's fashion changed, which were covered in the pastel model. So maybe due to that also you could change strategy. Third reason why you need to change a strategy could be maybe internal drivers. Maybe your culture. There's a change in culture. Or maybe processes has been redesigned or improved. Fourth reason could be market change. The change could be because of the market also, because market is becoming more global. So you need to create global strategies. Strategy which will only work locally might not help you. You need to create global strategy which will work overall. Like you can say one example is McDonald's. They have global strategy. They have a global presence everywhere. Okay, which are themselves driving changes. For example, uh, maybe in some country due to some religious reasons some food are not available, they cannot consume, especially in Middle East countries, Islamic countries, where uh, things like pork and all are haram. Okay, so they will not go and advertise those in this country, but whereas in the West Europe side you will see that it's open, you can eat it. There is no difference between haram or halal. It's open there, you can openly sell it, openly they consume. So this is a global strategy that they follow. They know what is the culture of a particular country, what is the belief, assumptions, norms, religious beliefs that they have, and they will add accordingly, they will put their strategy. Okay. Then what are the impact on the organization due to these changes? Very important, you need to know when you change a strategy. Now you have analyzed a position. Now you know, okay, after SWOT analysis, this is my strength, this is my weakness, this is my opportunity, this is my threat, this is the position. Now what do you do? Change the strategy, either go with the same strategy. Most likely you have to change the strategy. Very unlikely it will be the same strategy. So that's the reason why we are going through the changes, drivers of change and the impact on the organization. Okay. One is market sector. Okay. Market sector is likely to change as the rivals change. If your rivals change, market sector will change. Because some rivals, they will leave the sector, some will enter the sector. What should you do? You have to collaborate within these two groups. The one who's leaving, the one is entering. Second, organization structure also needs to change. It's not just your strategy that change. Even your structure you have to change to meet the strategy. Okay? And this change will be as a part of an overall change in the culture. Third, Now new mission has to be set up and new set of objectives needs to be considered. You cannot use the old mission by changing the strategy. Fourth, the way you monitor, the way you control needs to change to ensure the strategic fit with the changing environment. If your environment is changing, you are changing the strategy. You cannot go ahead with the same old monitoring and control tools. Those also needs to be updated. And organizations have to become more flexible and adaptable also. If you have to change in the future, become more flexible, not rigid, not stubborn. You have to be very adaptable. So that's it for this lecture SWOT analysis. So we have successfully covered internal analysis. The last video on internal analysis. What did we cover in this video? Capabilities. We went through resources and competences. We told that they could be threshold or unique and core. Okay. Sorry, I forgot to mention that competences could be core. Okay. Unique resources or core competences. And what are these unique and core competences? Those that are valued by customers and hard to copy by the rivals. Second, value chain. This I covered in the earlier lecture, not this lecture. Okay. So what was it? Again, this examines the source of competitive advantage. In what area are you getting the competitive advantage? Value chain will help you to do it. And also it splits the business into 5 primary and 4 support activity. Okay. And then we went through SWOT analysis where we went through internal and external analysis. How? Internal analysis means your strengths and your weakness. That is something it is inside you, you can work on it. Opportunities and threat comes from external, from the environment. So it is external. You are putting them together, known as SWOT. Then we examine the overall strategic position. Based on SWOT, you know what is your strategic position. That means what is your current position today and how you can improve it in the future. So this is it, and thanks for watching and see you in the next lecture. And the next lecture is the last lecture under your strategy, section number C, strategy, because after that we are moving on to a new topic, a new section, that is risk. Very important again, risk. And risk is a small topic, it's very interesting topic, one of the easiest topic I would say, that you would love it. So till then, keep watching and see you in the next lecture.